What brings you into entrepreneurship coming from Mozambique?
Definitely freedom, because entrepreneurship, it's your way of solving problems. And I still reflect today on what are the type of things that I've learned being an athlete that helps in business. A lot of it comes down to choice. As soon as you make a decision, you stick to it. You become loyal to decision. You identify yourself to it. It becomes your character, your choice. In business, it's very, very similar.
You told me your passion is more into real estate. How did you find this passion coming from Mozambique?
The sequence is how entrepreneurship started, but then it had to get into a very dedicated pathway. That's when I focused on real estate.
I see you today, like you're generating billions of dollars, you're advising, you're consulting. How did you come into that point? How can you believe that this is something that can happen to you with respect where you came from?
Definitely you have doubts, but you overcome it with choice. The choice mechanism is so important. It's not just the doubt, it is the choice. It is what are you willing to give up by accepting to live with the fact that it might not happen. You're also making a decision. You're also accepting the choice. You are staying with fear, but your mind will never let go of that chance. It will stay with you. Chairman Alabar speaks about this, and he's the chairman of Imar. He says he's got 4 products: 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, and 4 bedroom. Simple. In Noon, he's got 500,000 products, right? But Imar has only got 4 products, and he makes all this revenue out of 4 products only, which is true. It's a commodity. How is this 2 bedroom going to perform better than the other 2 bedroom? Amenities. And if you feel that you are only looking for the opportunity that you have envisaged only in your own mind, that it's going to come in a specific way, you will miss the way it's arriving.
Akil, are you ready to unleash?
Very much, Ahmed. Thank you for inviting me.
It's my pleasure, but before we start,
Yeah.
what's the percentage of unleashing?
100%. Totally 100%. And then within being unleashed, you have a little bit of discipline within that. So it's not too wild.
Love the spirit itself. I'm inspired by your journey, but I keep always asking that question when I start. What brings you into entrepreneurship coming from Mozambique?
Definitely freedom, because entrepreneurship, it's your way of solving problems. And when you come from an environment that is, challenging you, how are you going to respond? You have to bring value. You have to address, the market problems or opportunities. And the spirit of entrepreneurship comes from being somewhat unsatisfied with where you are. You want to fix something. And the best way to start the journey of fixing is to bring value. And that's where it begins. And, you look at, for example, Mozambique, where I come from. Most of the people there are doing some form of entrepreneurship. Even if you are so poor and you are informal and you are selling products at a very small scale, you have your little supply chain so that you can solve your problem. And that mindset that I need to be a part of something of value to somebody else is the beginning of addressing what you need to be able to feed yourself, take you forward in your own value chain. So I think that's where it starts naturally. But then it's also character, it's also personality, it's also your own drive. There's people who are great entrepreneurs who don't come from Mozambique, who come from different places that we learn from, that we study. So I think there's a lot of deep character as well that can be, DNA, upbringing, education. But from my perspective, there is definitely traits from my background that help.
I came from Africa. I understand how it comes when you got raised up with a normal family. I came from that perspective. And for myself, I have gone through the normal ladder of corporate and all of this stuff. Then after that, I realized myself into entrepreneurship, but after like 15 years of corporate. And I understand also when it comes to a normal life and with the family surrounding itself, there is something that should happen while you got raised up in order to move into entrepreneurship. What is that motive that moved you into entrepreneurship? What was that fire?
I think it's when you realize that there's an element of freedom attached to it, that you have the ability to make certain decisions, that certain choices stay with you, how far you will go, where you will go, and who you will deal with. When you're not an entrepreneur, a lot of these decisions will be made for you in an organization and so on. So I think freedom is a big part of how.
But what shaped this freedom? Because if it's a normal, the normal conventional life, let's go grow being like an engineer, being a doctor, being like a lawyer, and then get like some great salary or income, pension, and then salam alaikum, bye bye. This is my life.
Yes.
So what's that turning moment that you tell yourself, no, I need to get out of this tribe. I want to be an entrepreneur. Aside from freedom, definitely.
It is the fact that you believe you have a solution. You have to believe that you have something that you can bring to the table. And I think from an early stage, and I started working, for companies and for organizations. And I did this also as an entrepreneur in my own mind, because I wanted the knowledge and I wanted access to this knowledge so I could understand how to address opportunities with this knowledge. And but I always felt I had a solution that was a bit deeper that I could implement. And that was a little bit of initiative, deep initiative, and wanting to lead. I think leadership as well. I have a strong sense of leadership, and I want to offer value in a way that is unique, it's new, it's competitive. And I think competition is also a part of it. You want to compete and take some risks. And the truth of it is if you assess, the benefits, if you do take these risks, if you bring value to the table, the upside is in your control. You get to calculate, you get to negotiate the upside. In other situations, you don't have that. You don't have the negotiation element. You don't have the ability to set the value, to mark the value. That's a part of it.
I saw on LinkedIn that you more into swimming and you went for Olympics, right?
Yes.
How did you come into that perspective and how this shaped your character today?
I started my journey wanting to be an athlete a little bit with the same instinct or vision as the entrepreneurship journey. It is that sense of wanting to have a little bit of access to your own energy and value add. I really enjoyed performing in a competitive level and having clear outcomes of winning or losing and understanding the value. So this very similar. Sports and competition are very similar to entrepreneurship. But when you're young, the fulfillment is available through sports. And the value, the fact that you are succeeding, the fact that you're growing, sports can measure this for you. The inspiration for me came, by experiencing sports as a spectator of the World Cup, very young, and seeing the glory, seeing the flair of athletes and the success. And I thought, you know what, I really enjoy this. Every time I would touch a ball, I wanted to be there. But, as life is, and I learned a lot about life through the journey so far, there was the pathway in football wasn't clear to me. It wasn't totally available. I spent a lot of time trying, but the part for swimming arrived in a way that was so much more open to me, and I took that path. And it was a chance. It was a unique opportunity. And by taking that path, I ended up growing in it, dedicating myself, having fun, and also getting that reward, that competitive reward, where I really got to enjoy success and winning. So I started to get what I enjoyed about sport, but in a different sport compared to football. And then I took that up, And before you knew it, the progress accumulated, opportunities came. I left Mozambique at the age of 14. I went to South Africa to dedicate myself. I learned so much about dedication.
When you went to South Africa, was it because of being with athletics, I would say, experience, or because 14 years, I would say it's very early. But what
It's
was the
very
reason?
early.
Yeah.
It was the fact that a very clear opportunity was there to get better in swimming.
Swimming, okay.
In South Africa, the conditions to be a good swimmer is much better than in Mozambique. There's the swimming pools, there's the coaches, there's the competitions. Unfortunately, Mozambique has improved, but it wasn't at that level over time. I had to make a decision. If I want to improve, I have to go out. And again, it's that risk that we accepted to take, in as a family, and it worked out well. And that the character that grows in you across that journey is quite significant when it comes to commitment, discipline, choice as well. I would say a lot of, and I still reflect today on what are the type of things that I've learned being an athlete that helps in business. A lot of it comes down to choice. As soon as you make a decision, you stick to it. You become loyal to this decision. You identify yourself to it. It becomes your character, your choice. In business, it's very, very similar. You have to choose what you do. You cannot just change every moment. So this has been helpful. This has taught me a lot. But definitely there was a lot more that had to happen from just being an athlete to become a business person. And realized that by also realizing that a lot of my colleagues who were athletes could not do this in business. So it wasn't totally transferable either. It required more than just those skills to convert it.
That's great. So, what was the turning moment also in South Africa when you were swimming? You said, I will go and move beyond South Africa and I want to go into my entrepreneurial journey or my corporate journey.
Um, it had to do with my forecast about on my life. I realized, if I wanted to have some sort of economic freedom, I needed to have a way of adding value, being part of the business world's value. And I couldn't just imagine that I'm going to get a big contract as a swimmer because they do not exist, or become a gold medalist and become sponsored, and this is how my economic freedom will arrive. I had the realistic sense that I needed to understand where I can be valuable and what I would enjoy to achieve this. But it wasn't so clear early. One thing it was clear is that I could be an entrepreneur. While I was in university, in boarding school, I was always doing deals. I was always finding a way to add value and to take something that someone didn't want and sell it to someone who wanted it. That started very
At early stage, huh?
In
What
school.
kind of things that you were trying to exchange at that age?
I had friends of mine who were sponsored by supplement brands. They could get as much as they wanted, right? In Mozambique, I had friends who did not have access to supplement shops, right? So I would arrange a way of saying, if you are getting more supplements than you need, fill up this suitcase for me and I will have it sold and you can take a share, out of it. It started with simple things like that. But the truth of it is I always found a way to try. I always tried, even if it was something that didn't quite make sense at that early stage. I had a sense that I could try, and I would contact someone and say, do you think we can do this? Can you help do this? Can you fix this part? And I, through my communication skills and organizing skills, I would position people in the part of the process. I would create a supply chain. I would say, I will bring this to you and then you try and do this and we will test it. And it's incredible that that's still the way how business works today at grand scale. It's the same. So it was a skill that I nurtured, to be able to have clarity, to approach someone and say, I can bring you this. And if I do, I would like you to achieve this and bring this, and we will create a system, right? And people have to trust you. And clarity is a big part of trust. If people can see it, they can believe it. And seeing it is not only seeing it in physical form, it's seeing it in their mind. They need to believe it. They need to understand the process and have clarity of how it's going to sequence logically. And then they will be with you and they can partner with you, they can do a deal with you. But clarity is key in this process of being able to work things out. And I could work deals out just like that. And it worked. And then I had pocket money and I had more than I needed. And a little, this sequence is how entrepreneurship started. But then it had to get into a very dedicated pathway. And that's when I focused on real estate, right?
You've told me, I believe that when we spoke before the podcast, you told me your passion is more into real estate, right?
Yes.
How did you find this passion coming from Mozambique and South Africa, coming to swimming, being athlete? Because it's totally different
Yeah.
path, totally. How did you find this passion?
I think when, everything about real estate inspires me and inspired me when I got to learn more about it. One thing I realized, I was just astonished by the fact that a big building could be owned by an individual. I was totally, and when I realized that a lot of big warehouses or big significant buildings, there was an individual who was the owner. I found that to be quite impressive. And then I wanted to understand
But
how they
how?
could get to that
Yeah.
and then the whole industry unfolds upon you when you start to ask these questions. But it wasn't totally clear to a young person like me when I had this curiosity. You look at Dubai today. There's a lot of very successful businessmen and entrepreneurs who are behind these buildings, who own an entire building as investments, as assets. Right? It's incredible. For me, that discovery, living in an apartment that we rented was incredible to understand that a whole individual could own the whole building and be collecting rent from all of us, and that's how it really started. So there was the grandiosity of it, how the scale, and then when you look at the fact that how powerful it is, how impactful it is, from hotels to shopping centers to factories to residential communities. They're all connected, and but it's one industry that is fulfilling all of this, and that's real estate. And that's where I started to become deeply interested in.
How did you break these beliefs when you saying that I was living in a rental house, right? And I saw like entrepreneurs that they own this full building. How did you change this? Because I see you today like you're generating billions of dollars, you're advising, you're consulting. How did you come into that point? How can you believe that this is something that can happen to you? Uh, with respect where you came from, how did you break this belief? Because not everyone can like vision something like that and see it happening. How did you break this?
It wasn't immediate. It was first deciding to study this, to get into understanding it. And I had to choose a university degree. So it was in layers. So when I was in Africa, I had the opportunity to go to Australia and follow my soulmate and life partner. And there were sequences of moments that gave me this opportunity because I had to rely on very unique chances for this to happen. But it started with selecting a degree. I had a scholarship. And this scholarship obviously, was also something that was a very, very unique chance. And one of the few universities that was offering real estate in Australia actually had an international student scholarship as a degree. So I selected this course, but I had a deep vision of where I wanted to go into it. And then I had to read biographies. of people who were successful in this area to understand what they had accomplished and where they came from. So I would say biographies played a huge role in describing the potential, because there are very successful business people in the real estate sector. And actually, one of the sectors that is highly written about in the self-help industry is real estate and investment. There's a lot of jargon and try get rich quick schemes and books written. So I had to get through all of that to get to the truth and get to the real stories. So it took me years to deepen my understanding of real estate and the true potential behind it. But going to Australia was a big part of it, where I got an education, and then I got into the industry as an analyst, and then an investments manager, development manager, and then I got to start a business with partners and build that business in development. But it took a lot of reading and a lot of research about other business people, other founders, other very, very successful developers to understand the true potential in this and the sequences that they took in their careers. I had to study the potential, actually.
Did you have some moments where you have some beliefs in your mind, but you have sometimes to lie in your subconscious that it will happen? Because whenever we are today, right, I keep saying that because, if you think by logically, it will not come. Literally, because of the circumstances and all the conditions around. So, how did you, I wouldn't say lie to yourself, but how did you convince yourself that it will happen? It will happen along the process. I will get wealthy. I will be billionaire. I will get into all of this stuff. How did you convince yourself in that way?
Definitely, the evidence is in the life stories of other people, firstly, because the people who are really successful, they come from very low odds as well. So I would say that the evidence is there. It's in the stories of others. That's the best evidence you can have, because if the only way you're going to generate your own belief is by convincing yourself about your own possibilities, the logic will defy you. It will defeat you, right? Because it's not going to give you evidence. It's not going to be present, the evidence, right? And most of the time, people are going to tell you that it's not possible along the way. The people that you're going to have to go through to get there don't believe it. They may have also never done it. They may have never wanted to do it. So you won't be going through the right environments to get there on the way there. So you have to have deep references that sit outside of your environment, which are other people's stories. And that's why I think inspiring people is so important, because you become a reference outside of their environment. A lot of people are not in the right environment to believe in themselves in the way that they dream of their own life, and until they have references that are outside of their environment. And for me, that played a big role, because it is very, very difficult. And at the same time, I wouldn't say that every step of the way I was obsessed and focused about what I need to become. I was quite focused on what am I doing that is the best version of how I can deliver. How can I add value? How can I be good at what I'm doing? There's a lot of focus that you have to have in what you're doing to develop the understanding and enjoyment of your own profession, your own skill. If you're fully obsessed about only where you're going, you will get tired, because the destination is far indeed. So you have to enjoy the process. You have to enjoy the steps. You have to be with people that you love also, that you also have to be a part of other things that fulfill you, that is not totally dependent on where you're going. So I think it is a psychology, it's a way of living, it's a reference system, and then it is a deep focus also, because you have to be very clear about what is not going to help you, what is not a part of your support system. So you can remove that. You know, we were talking earlier, you speak about what to cut out, you know, when you're considering what is value, where there's value. So important, because whatever you choose to assess value in takes your own focus away. It takes your energy away.
100%, yeah.
So it costs to assess. It costs to also believe in something. But what I've also realized is when you are so, crucial about cutting out, you also cut out branches that could have taken you somewhere. So the innocence of faith is also super important, because some of the things that don't make sense are part of the next step, right? And a big part of what I've learned is that's why it's not logical. That's why if you apply logic, you find it difficult to get there. Sometimes it's not a system that gets you there, it's faith. And faith is a big part of this business. It's a big part of investing. It's a big part of development, because, and that's why I realize that it's an industry driven by leaders, and leadership is heavily driven by your belief system, and what you believe is going to be right, what you believe is going to be wanted, what you believe is going to be accepted. And it's not always a system that delivers that. A system is very complicated in delivering faith, because you have to feel it. You have to be close to your feelings to deliver that. While a system is a process that is totally logical and connects itself to something. But the world of creation is not like that. It is a quantum world. It's the same. You can't create it the same way every single time, but you can lead yourself there again and again if you use your intuition, your instinct, your experience. So I really believe that learning how to become a believer is so important. Learning how to connect with your own intuition, your own experience, connect with people, connect to other people's beliefs. There's a network of believing that allows for creation. And real estate is heavily driven by this. And that's why I think a lot of organizations that are following procedures or systems struggle to compete with leadership-driven organizations that have a big visionary behind it, a person who understands and builds something from the beginning, or who has a specific vision about how to disrupt products, communities, a variety of things that affect value in real estate. It takes a lot of faith to survive that. And we're speaking earlier, you asked me, what are the challenges, right? And I said a big part of these challenges is in protecting a vision that requires a belief system. Because doubt is what removes the belief.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. I see that you have like great success story, but on the back end, most people what they see like someone who's successful, right? But I want you to dig deep little bit and reflect from where you come from. Did you have any doubt along the way? And if yes, how did you overcome it?
Definitely you have doubt, but you overcome it with choice.
How?
If for you to fulfill your doubt, you have to give up, then it's a bad choice. You see? You might have doubt if something will work, but if for you to discover whether it's possible, you need to make a decision to move forward, then that's where it kicks in. It's what choice will you make? Will you make the choice to not discover, or will you make the choice to discover?
But sometimes, all odds could be surrounding you, and everything around you internally and externally is telling you you will not be able to do it. What's that motive that's telling you, no, I will do it?
Um, that's the whole point. If to me, doubt is not exactly telling you won't be able to do it. That's not how my communication system works. When you believe in something, you believe there's a chance you will be able to do it or that something can happen. That chance is what you focus on. If you believe there is no chance that it will happen, then you will not have the energy to do it. This whole system works on whether you see the chance, whether you are convinced there is a chance. Of course, even if you see the chance, even if you can see it, you can doubt it, because you can be totally. A chance actually means that it might not happen. However, it is how curious are you about finding out whether it will. That's the key. How curious are you to discover whether it will happen? Are you willing to go and discover? Are you curious enough to discover? And if the curiosity is so strong that you're willing to check, then you will do it. It is that is the important part, is how driven are you to check if it's possible, right? Because the fact of it is, along the way, you will even try and you will fail. But what convinces you to try again? It is the desire, number one, to make it happen. It is the choice that if it does happen, it has significant consequences to many, to yourself, that it will have a significant outcome. And then it is also, if you don't try, what decision are you making? Where are you going to stay? What are you accepting? The choice mechanism is so important. It's not just the doubt, it is the choice. It is, what are you willing to give up by accepting to live with the fact that it might not happen? You're also making a decision. You're also accepting a choice. You are staying with fear. But your mind will never let go of that chance. It will stay with you. And that is a feeling that I found to be very difficult to accept, to live in such a void. For example, I've got examples in life where I've seen people stay behind, not totally discover what's available to them if they checked, if they could, if they could achieve something. But the unfulfillment is so significant, especially when they see somebody else do it. And that is such a high cost to live with. So I honestly really think that the faith and the conviction that it's worth trying is so important. But doubt will exist. Everybody's got it. And, sometimes you're sitting with people who are expressing the doubt. Yes, I don't disagree with them. Yes, you're right. It could not go well. But I'm not willing to stay there. That's the key. I'm not willing to stay here. I'm willing to discover.
It's a choice.
It's a choice. That's ultimately what you will live with, the choice. And that choice changes your life. It will lead you to better places. It will turn you into a better person, because you will become a much stronger believer, because you will definitely you will discover something, and something very powerful will come your way. The evidence is significant out there. You don't have to trust me. You can look at so many stories of inspiring people. It's exactly what happened in their life. They made the choice, and it compounded into their blessings. It flourished them. It enlightened them. It's the same with a lot of people. So the evidence is there. It's very, very clear. But doubt, fine, it's there. Every person has doubt. The future is not guaranteed to anybody. That's one thing that's one justice that exists, is that the future is not specific or guaranteed to anybody. It can change for everybody. it can change in many, many ways. So take your chance, make your choice on the change that is possible for you. That's the way I've looked.
I love this. When it comes to a choice, I'm not sure if you know Prince of Persia, the Sand of Time. So I would like to ask you if you have this machine, okay, and you can come back to the past and you have one choice, because we spoke about choices, one choice to take it at that moment that you can see that it would change something in your life and make it a way better from what you have today. So what's that one thing that you can come back in the past, change it, and it will take you to another place?
No way,
You
nothing.
don't like Sound of Time?
Look, and it's not about liking Sand of Time. It's I would not change anything
Why?
because I think um, I think it was meant to be. It was meant to be. I trust that it was meant to be the way. That's why. So I wouldn't change anything, and I'm changing it now. I'm changing it now. I'm changing it every day. But the past, I don't think I would change anything. I don't feel that. I don't live with that desire. Yeah. So it's hard for me to answer this question because I don't have the desire to change the past.
So you're fulfilled from everything that has happened in your life and you're okay today, right?
Yes, I have learned how to accept the odds, right? That's the truth. I've learned how to accept my environment, how things happened. And this is a big part about having faith, is understanding that things are happening for a reason. And if you change that, what are the consequences? What gives me the right to be so convinced that I understand what the consequences will be from that change? I don't have that. I'm not that powerful. So I cannot play with that. I can, now is my chance. The decisions I'm making now is the chance I'm focused on. But the past is, I don't want to touch it.
Do you regret something?
That's the whole point. I cannot regret something. I've learned definitely of mistakes I've made. I've made mistakes. And I can touch on those mistakes and feel the pain that have come from them. But those lessons were meant for me. They were meant for me. And I've appreciated them. And that's why, if I have so much control, okay, of the future and life is not like that, you lose appreciation of faith. You think that you control everything and you don't. So you have to be somewhat totally accepting of the fact that you are with the world, you're with other people, that you have to negotiate, you have to compromise, you have to participate, you have to do something, you have to add value. It's not totally at your desire. This is a very, very important. And if I'm helping, if I'm educating even my family, my children, I look at this and I say, you're not totally in control. Your desire is not, the world is not at mercy of your desire. So you have to offer something to receive. So I think that is more valuable, is what value would I have given or have I learned from that I've got available to offer to participate?
Love that. What is that biggest challenge or mistake and the best learning that you got it from your journey as an entrepreneur?
The biggest learning and value is to be convinced that is to actually be convinced, totally convinced about something, that I delay my adjustment, that I delay my learning. Okay? So the key to being in business or leading is adjust. It's learn. Okay? So be absorbing conversations, situations, the market, absorbing the negotiation, and adjust. Take the opportunity. The opportunities are arriving all the time. So you have to notice them. You have to be so focused and notice the opportunities. And if you feel that you are only looking for the opportunity that you have envisaged only in your own mind, that it's going to come in a specific way, you will miss the way it's arriving, actually. And I think being more open is what I've learned to become. Over time, I've learned how to become more open because there is so much arriving that you can absorb from that. It's taken me time to learn that, but that's what I say. I would not change how I learned that.
So you're grateful for everything that happened along the
Definitely,
journey.
definitely. I have been at times where I've struggled to be grateful, but again, I learned. And I've developed that gratitude because gratitude is such a force of appreciation that you need to enjoy your own life, to be present. If I cannot have that, the value of my life reduces. My perspective on everything that I'm being blessed with or that I've achieved reduces. So I reduce my richness. So there's it's all connected. It's all connected to what you want and what I've been working for. So definitely, I've had to learn a lot about gratitude, about my own perspective of value in my life, in my past, to be able to acknowledge deeper values and be able to connect with deeper opportunities. That's the key. For you to change your life in such a significant way, you've got to connect with the changes. You've got to connect with those possibilities. And it takes that faith that it is possible. Maybe in this way, maybe in another way. And you have to just be open for a little bit longer sometimes. And then test it. And then if it doesn't work, adjust. Move. And use your experience. So those are the type of lessons that I've learned. It's the fluidity. It's a lot more fluid than it is rigid.
I love that. I will come back to your passion, which is real estate.
Yes.
I know that you have wealth experience. So from your experience here in Gulf, what are the biggest challenges that you see it in real estate and I would say projects with billions of dollars? What are those challenges that you face it as an advisor and how did you overcome it helping developers and even people in secondary markets? What are those challenges?
The challenges are actually connected to the potential, which is, the market in the Gulf is quite new in comparison to many of the other markets around the world that it's competing with and that it's doing and that it's attracting customers from. So it is, what is the right product? What is the right solution? And these are the same challenges that you find in changing markets, which is how are you going to attract? How are you going to offer the value to people who are outside of the Gulf to come and choose your project, that are going to come and live in your project? How are you going to connect to that? And how are you going to do it in such a way that it is convincing and appropriate to the people that you're working with? to the developer that we're working with? What is it that they should focus on to achieve that changing value factor? And how are they going to be competitive? That's the most challenging part about working in the Gulf. However, you can see it's such a hot market now. You've got the government incentivizing people to come and live here. They're supporting, migration, and there's a huge benefit around the world in moving to the Gulf from tax purposes, from affordability of investments. There's a lot of value available. But then how do you compete? How do you position yourself in the right way? And that's where you're seeing so much creativity in branded residences, in the product that is available for you to create. However, the flexibility in the options also creates, again, that doubt. What is the right way? And how should we invest in that right way? And then, people are having to stretch further, deeper into their expenses to invest in items that maybe have not been proven before. Maybe they've never done before, to take that chance. So the challenges are sometimes locking in the vision, the right vision. But right now, the Gulf is thriving with vision. There's a lot of success. There's a lot of good stories. There's a lot of people interested. The world is on the Gulf side in that way. So it's a lot easier now than it's ever been to make that decision or go in that direction. But that can change. And I just really think that the Gulf and Dubai specifically has been such a pioneer in the creativity of adding value to real estate, from branded residences, marketing, and also the generosity, for example, for brokers, the commissions that are being offered to the market, the benefit. The ambition is widespread. Everyone's sort of benefiting from it in many ways. So I think, these challenges are just part of the process of dealing with real estate risk. But the challenges 5 years ago were different. It was, why don't we have the demand pre-COVID, right? Where's the value here? The market was softer, so people were feeling very isolated when it comes to the demand they're feeling right now. Now you're also feeling, is this going to continue? Is the bubble going to burst? The doubts are starting to come back in, but that's just a part of this game and a part of dealing with the vision.
I love that. When I speak just from an point of view in real estate, I think that we can categorize 3 layers. I would say developers, I would say brokers, I would say end users or investors. So I'll ask you 3 questions. Let's tackle firstly the developers. What are the biggest challenges from developers' point of view that when it comes to your experience that they are facing, and that how they overcome it? They will ask you those questions also for the brokers and also from an investor side.
See, you've got industry developers who are experienced, who've been in the market for a long time, that understand what they're doing. And some of those developers are facing difficulties in being fast enough to capture opportunities or continue to invest in a specific market because they've realized that it's heating up, it's becoming quite competitive. Then you've got new market entrants, people who are coming with capital, they want to participate, they want to be developers themselves from different countries, and they're facing different challenges. They're trying to work out whether the market will also continue to be sustainable, where they should build. They are dealing with challenges on how to negotiate for the right plot of land. Because of the market heat and how successful the market has been, you're seeing huge inflation in plot prices. Okay, plot owners are trying to capture the front-loaded profit in the land value. So the new market entrants are finding it difficult to measure whether it's feasible or not, how to negotiate on those plots, whether they're actually going to be on the money when the project is ready. So their feasibilities are starting to give them doubt. They're starting to shy their way into projects. So they're trying to have discipline, but the market is challenging them. It's saying you have to pay more because the landowners who decide, the sellers decide who will buy their plot and at what terms. You're seeing this negotiation pressure in the plot land sales. So I see some of those challenges happening. And then you're also seeing product positioning. It's very hard to compete in Dubai because there's so many projects coming in. How are you going to position your product? What are you offering that's different? What design are you going to pick? What direction are you going? Are you going to be going mixed use with a hotel? Are you going to be introducing offices? Are you bringing in retail? I actually think that a lot of projects are underserving retail. Okay, there's a lot of communities coming into the market, but you're not seeing enough local retail centers that are fulfilling customer demands, that are bringing good daycare centers, medical centers, that are bringing entertainment for the local community. So I think Dubai has been, in this specific market, very, very good at establishing amenity at a broader level. However, master planned amenity can be looked at closely. There's a lot of opportunities in this area. Mixed use is a lot about amenity. That's the whole reason why it's got to be mixed, because you got to introduce other factors of service to people who will be living there that will benefit their life, that will make it more valuable. That balance is affecting a lot of developers, how much to go into it, and how much benefit it will offer. You're seeing, for example, the value add in your residential becoming blurry. So your retail might be worth 30 or 40% less than your residential. But how much retail should you have to make your residential more valuable? That area is complicated to assess. So the mixed use is a difficult puzzle for many developers, but it's becoming even more essential when you're realizing that it's taking 20 minutes longer for people to get to a pool in certain places. Because in Dubai, swimming pools matter a lot in communities.
And cooling systems, please.
Cooling systems, landscaping, many factors that affecting how people are living and their quality of life. There's also a lot of projects that are being designed to suit investors. So they might not be considering the people who will be living there in a long-term, owner-occupiers. So they're trying to serve them differently based on their target market. But I really believe amenities is a big focus point to actually achieve value add. And it's a very confusing one. How much amenity to add, what type of amenities to add, and how to get that right.
Lovely. So I believe that you just spoke about investors, right? Right now. So if I'm an investor, I know that you're an advisor, right? If I'm an investor and I want your advice in order to invest on a specific budget, and I have this capital appreciation in a short period, what are the factors that you would advise me in order to get into that objective as an investor?
Capital appreciation in a short term is, I would honestly look at amenities as a big one. This factor, pick projects with great amenities, because what is improving the lifestyle of the user is amenity, and the decision is amenity. The big differentiation between projects, Chairman Alabar speaks about this, okay? And he's the chairman of EMAR. He says he's got 4 products: 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, and 4 bedroom. Simple. In Noon, he's got 500,000 products, right? But Imar has only got 4 products. And he makes all this revenue out of 4 products only, which is true. It's a commodity. However, how is this 2-bedroom going to perform better than the other 2-bedroom? Amenities. How much easier it is for someone to live in this 2-bedroom versus the other 2-bedroom. That's the differentiating factor. Focus on the quality of lifestyle this 2-bedroom is offering. If you get that right, position yourself as a person who lives. Everybody lives. Everybody lives somewhere. Reflect on this lifestyle and see where it's easier to live. And that is going to offer you the best appreciation because there will be more demand. Simple.
If I'm thinking about flipping quickly, this could be a case. And another one, maybe I want to take the highest capital appreciation near the delivery. If I'm a persona of investor that I want to flip quickly, and to be honest with you, and just from the experience that I have, there's nothing called like quick flip. But when is, or I would say from the choice, if I want to your advice, when is the best time from your experience in order to flip and get, I would say, the optimal capital appreciation? Because the more that you wait for the delivery, it will be the highest appreciation as an investor to get it. But when is the best time from the product launch into, I would say, how long does it take in order to get the optimal capital appreciation as an investor to flip it quickly?
I think this is going to depend on many factors. I'm not an expert in this, but I will give you my logic in it. You need to look at the demand. It's all about demand. Demand affects value. Okay? The more demand there will be at a specific stage, the more value you will have. Okay? So, for example, the sooner a product will be available for someone to move in, there'll be more demand. The longer it will take for them to receive it, there'll be less demand because they have to wait. Their decision profile of moving in is affecting them. So I would look at using the logic on demand. When is a product going to be more desirable? Simple. If the desire metrics are going to increase, you have a better chance of flipping. And that is one of the things that I would say is going to affect it. I've personally never flipped in my life. Never.
But why? Why?
Because it's a good strategy for investors who are looking to make quick money. But the way we work, Urban New Advisory, we work on the long term. Our expertise functions with long term. Therefore, our focus is mainly from the beginning as a vision. What vision has the most value and is long-term sustainable? And we are usually implementing our skills in this way. There's people who are doing very well flipping. It's a great business model for people who want to trade, who have this specific level of strategy. And I think it's very interesting. But you have to dedicate yourself to those metrics, those parameters. You need to be involved in the launches. You need to be involved in those techniques. You need to be prepared to get it wrong. Otherwise, you are going to be stuck because you are flipping a contract. That's what you have to realize. That contract is stuck with you if you don't flip it. So you're taking a specific risk, which is legal, okay, because it's within the contract. So that becomes also a big part of your assessment. I think you need to be sharp as well about the contracts that you're taking, the advice you're receiving in that way, to be able to handle that risk. So I think you need to be very wise, streetwise, in the game of real estate speculation to achieve good results in this area. From our perspective in Urban U, we are heavily focused on adding long-term value at a vision level all the way to execution. If you look at what we say, we are execution driven, execution first. Why? Because we are supporting developers who are dealing with such monumental risks. Their risks go beyond merely if I stuck with this contract or not. They have to have a product that they can deliver, that is going to achieve those returns, that is going to be suitable for the market.
100%.
So from that level, we have to be deeply focused on many factors, including how can they deliver this? Is it right for them? Is it right for their organization? Can they handle this? From that perspective, we have to be deeply intertwined with many factors that are not visible to the market. And that's where we perform the best. Our team understands these factors and prepares for these factors. We analyze at that level. And then we support in the execution and in helping the developer decide this is the right way. This is the best way to go. And we will be able to adjust along the way because we are in the right path.
Yeah.
The adjustment factor, when I speak about entrepreneurship, in being prepared to adjust, we also support our partners. Let's adjust here now. You know, we are seeing some difficulties here. Let's be better prepared to handle them. Let's introduce this. Let's analyze this in this way. Let's bring on board this partner. Let's work with these guys. Let's see a different value proposition. This is where we are good at what we do. The speculation side takes another skill set. It takes a different focus level to be prepared to do that. And I think there's a lot of people who are doing very, very well in that area. And there's a lot of techniques, payment plans that they're going to choose, all of these different things so that they can navigate this well. But at the developer side, there's much deeper moving parts that they have to consider to be able to deliver that project.
I love the division for Urban U when you're talking about long term. I'll tell you from my experience, because this is my personal experience. I don't believe in something called flipping, and especially when you have flipping, I believe that it will be you will be exposed to stressed sales, right? And especially if you're in need in cash and you need to liquidate it. So maybe you will not get into the right capital or optimal capital appreciation because you will have it as stressed one or stressed sales. So from my experience, I'm not just the best, I would say, in that investment, but I have experienced this. When you're an investor, you shouldn't play with all of your cash one time. So you should spare it and wait, because that's why I can relate with your vision with Urban U. You will put something, wait for it till the end. Especially if you put it with the right developer. Wait. Why? Most of the investors, and it depends on the payment plans. If you have if you have a cash, you'll get some discounts at the beginning.
Yes.
Then you have great profit. But if you don't wait, you'll not get the best appreciation. And most investors, they should wait till the end of the delivery, because what will happen?
Yeah.
Most of the demand, as you said, it will be coming from the end users, right?
Correct.
And most end users here, they rely heavily on the I would say mortgage, right?
Yeah.
Which will be easier, because I believe real estate, it's all about matter of belief. Let me see and I believe.
Exactly.
Right? When I see something in front of me, I'll be crazy. This is one. I saw it. Then the facility, from that perspective, I will go. If I'm just like an end user, if I don't have the money, I can take mortgage on 25 years and I'll take it quickly. And by this way, we'll create the demand.
Yes.
But just waiting and just, I would say, flipping in a short period, I don't think that it's just existing. It's all about just thinking it from a long term in order to get the right capital appreciation, because I believe the right capital appreciation will come from end users, not from an investor again, to get it from that perspective.
Look, there's a lot of use cases where flipping is powerful. We have a project, for example, where we have launched the project, we're selling it, okay, and we are going to be introducing new USPs into the project. Okay, so we're launching a hotel in this master plan. We're bringing on board a brand ambassador. These USPs are going to increase the demand. And the people who are buying early without these USPs on board, or if there's investors who understand that these USPs are coming on board, and we've announced that they will be coming on board, right? They can understand that the demand will increase because the product will improve. It will have more attention. If a brand ambassador comes in, there will be more demand. Therefore, they will have a chance to sell that product at a later stage for more. So the perspective of increased demand is one. Number two, they need to check, is the developer going to increase the prices? Because if you stay with the product and the developer's got 1,000 apartments to sell, and you are going to be competing with the developer because another buyer can still buy from the developer, then they don't need to buy from you. So you have to also make sure that you have a product that is going to be sold out, because that's when you have the chance to offer
100%,
it. So there's a few metrics to look at there, and the people who are doing this, they are professionals, they are understanding this. A lot of them are also brokers because they have the information, they're dealing with the developers. Actually, the best people to do this are usually brokers or people who are really close to this product and the delivery of it.
Tackling the last point about the broker point of view. Before we come here, you told me about you have something around AI you will be able to help with from brokerage. Can you speak about it right now?
We think that the screening of leads and right now, for example, because the market is so competitive, there's a huge amount of USPs. We're finding that these unique selling points, okay, which is the USP, is becoming more difficult to convey, to remember, to showcase in projects by the brokers. And the brokers are being loaded with leads. They're finding it more difficult to handle all the leads that are coming in. Not just the brokers, the developers who have in-house sales teams. Whoever's investing in procuring leads and competing with those leads. And by the way, the leads are usually the same amongst many developers because people are scouting the markets. So a lead for my project is a lead for another person's project, for another developer. So at that point that the leads comes in, we're competing. And we all have to be aware of this. So we are developing a very friendly, personable, charming AI broker that is there to support the teams in being capable of closing in these deals. And the way we're doing that is by loading the USPs in a way that is going to be very capable by the AI to explain it to them as soon as someone is interested to know about a project.
Unbiased.
Well, it should be biased to the customer.
Not to the developer, or not the developers itself.
It should be biased to the customer's needs. We want the customer to feel that they are biased to them, that they want to help them. So the customer is so much more inclined to give information, to support the AI or the virtual broker in helping them because they're biased towards them. We want them to feel that there is this bias. So for example, if I'm looking to buy something and I want there to be the right amenities for my family, and I want the broker to be focused on these amenities and biased towards me, I want to feel that they are now focused on that and they're giving me the answers. The customer has to feel that evidence of the bias to support their needs. So that is where we want to showcase the value directly. And I think if someone feels that you're biased towards them, they will trust you a lot more.
100%.
That's where we're coming from.
Shakil, really, it was a pleasure meeting you. And I
Nice to
loved
meet
your
you too.
inspirational story, where you come from and where are you today. It's really inspiring. Pleasure meeting you. And I wish you all the best with all
Thank you.
Urban News.
Thank you.
And all the best for you.
And all the best with Unleashed, and thank you for
Thank
your
you.
support. And I think you're doing so well, and I'm looking forward to seeing and doing more work with you.
Thank you.
So definitely, let's continue working together.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Unleash is the bridge between my purpose and my mission. And my mission is unleashing the human greatness to its utmost potential.